Look at that. Look at that. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Yeah. All right. Stop it. Stop it. We got to do a show. It's great. It's great to be back in the free Republic of Florida. Yeah. Thank you for receiving us with open arms, even if they're covered with Black Sabbath tattoos and number 77 sunscreen. So let's cover some news before we get to the monologue. Do you know that an American who was trapped in Ukraine for 8 months says he evaded Russian troops by pretending to be Irish? In other words, he was drunk. Comedian Gallagher, sadly, has passed away at age 76. His family scheduled a private ceremony, followed by smashing him with a giant hammer. We had to show the picture of the watermelon. Amazon's Jeff Bezos announced he'll be giving his fortune to charity, earning praise from Hunter Biden, who gave most of his fortune to Charity, Summer, and the other girls dancing the Wednesday night shift.
Look at those two.
Texas is sending a new bus of migrants to the sanctuary city of Philadelphia, sparking outrage from migrants who'd packed for Martha's Vineyard. Quote, "This isn't what I signed up for," said one refugee named Beto O'Rourke. The Department of Energy is projecting heating bills will jump 28% this winter for those who rely on natural gas. Well, not as long as my finger is around to be pulled, said Eric Swalwell. All right, let's do a monologue, shall we? Did that disgust you, Judge? I hope it did. Judge, you know, people have been leaving the blue states in droves to come live here. Even AOC visited with her boyfriend, perhaps to air out his nasty feet. Look at those things. Last time I saw toes that ugly, I was watching Jurassic Park. And for the most part, lefty leaders are too stubborn to admit it's their garbage policies that have sent people fleeing like Cat from the cops. Here's New York Governor Kathy Hochul.
Fighting to bring government back to the people and out of the hands of dictators. And we're here to say that the era of Trump and Zeldin and Molinaro, just jump on a bus and head down to Florida where you belong, okay? Get out of town. Get out of town. Because you don't represent our values. You are not New Yorkers.
Well, we took her advice, and here we are. Now, it's going to take a long time, huh? Let's hope she didn't follow us down here on her broomstick. But it seems a lot of people are taking her advice, just not about her eyebrows. It gives her that surprised look on her face, like when you accidentally sit down on a child's toy. I said accidentally. Or maybe she's as shocked as we are that she won. If those brows got any higher, they'll turn into wings. But she's the embodiment of the flaw in the left's thinking. Everything they think should be a negative about Florida is something its people wear proudly, like a red, white, and blue Speedo. For example, when Governor DeSantis ended the COVID lockdowns and opened back up businesses and schools, places like New York said, "You have blood on your hands, DeSatan. We got to keep our kids at home and masked up, and double mask if it's on Zoom, and triple mask if Jeffrey Toobin is on the call." And while Florida was pushing to get kids into in-school learning, places like San Francisco were more into renaming schools to Che Guevara Elementary and Ho Chi Minh High. Sounds pretty good. The results? Florida's doing great, but kids in other states can't add and subtract because they're 2 grade levels behind. It's so bad the average freshman is reading at a Joy Behar level. I know. Meanwhile, I just hired a 6th grader from Fort Lauderdale to manage my estate, which is mostly bronze coins from Roseland Capital. Thanks to Biden, my 401k is 401 not okay. The kids in lockdown states, well, they're so stupid. This year's most popular boy's name was Bozo. But that's what you get when you have a system that believed in government more than the people it governs. But Florida's the opposite. It's ground zero for parents' rights. You don't have a beef with drag queens. You just don't want them in preschool teaching them to twerk, right? I say wait until it's age appropriate, like the 5th grade, when liberal sex educators teach them to put a condom on a banana blindfolded. But if you want to have a voice in your brat's education, in Florida, they're on your side. And what about law and order? During the hurricane, your governor backed citizens who stand their ground against looters. What was that?
Is that Judge?
Somebody had a coronary. Translation, shoot him if you got him, which is the only way to reduce looting. Meanwhile, in other cities, they just redefine theft as redistribution, which is the gist for most leftism. Meanwhile, in NYC, you drive into Times Square, you'll see this sign. Yeah, gun-free zone. And yet you can't walk through Times Square without being assaulted by a Disney character. Thanks to bail reform, Mickey Mouse is back on the street before you can say Winnie the Pooh. And who is this sign for? The armed criminal? It can't be, because the average thug in New York can't read, since he likely went to their public schools. It's a perfect example of idiot liberalism. They create more laws for the law-abiding, unaware that criminals are defined by not following laws, especially when they're never jailed. In NYC, you don't just get a slap on the wrist. When you're caught, you get a pat on the back and released. Hell, I've used handcuffs more in my bedroom this year than the NYPD has all year. But that's how Hegseth likes it. Also, you ever notice how people who hate Florida will say the state's map looks like a penis? So what? Manhattan is shaped like a turd. The kind you see on the sidewalk outside Starbucks. They call that a venti. Florida has some great beaches full of hot babes and thongs, and thankfully, most of them are women. Now, nothing looks worse in a thong than a chick who has what looks like the outline of Florida in her banana hammock. In New York, though, the beaches are a cross between a sushi bar and a needle exchange program. We're way past hepatitis C. By now, it's Hep L, M, N, O, and P. And last, in Florida, you got gorgeous wildlife, from tropical birds to delightful dolphins. In New York, you got pigeons with rap sheets, fish with Adderall addictions, and rats with gang tattoos. And even they are thinking about retiring here. Can you blame them?
Period.
That's slow. Let's welcome tonight's guest. This judge loves to talk, so expect a long sentence. Co-host of The Five, Judge Janine Pirro. He's making Florida redder from women blushing over his dimples. Co-host of Fox & Friends Weekend, Pete Hegseth. This is her first trip to Florida without the ankle monitor. Fox News contributor Kat Timm. CC's here, they turn around and leave. My massive sidekick and new NWA World Heavyweight. Judge, it's kind of like a win-win. You know, people come here from New York and they're happy. And I think Hochul is happy when they move because she knows they're all Republicans.
Right.
It's like the only people left in New York are Democrats or who are just, happy that they can afford the, $24 sliced bananas.
Well, yeah, and you know what? As far as that was from another show, but from The Five. But in addition to that, she wants no Republicans to feel comfortable in New York. If you believe in law and order, she doesn't want to deal with you. Go to Florida, go to another state, because they believe in, let criminals be criminals, and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it, and that's all I got to say.
That's all I got.
That's all I got. Pete, you look great as always.
Oh, thank you, Greg.
I'm glad my workout has really helped you get
It
in
has.
shape.
It has.
So, you have a lot of kids. Are you planning on
Having
you have a lot
more?
of kids? Are you planning on moving here?
We considered it, although we moved to Tennessee. Florida was in the running. It always was in the running, should be in the running. Things are so bad in New York that all the Republicans left New York and moved to Florida. DeSantis wins by 20 points. Yet Lee Zeldin, with no Republicans, still almost wins.
Yeah,
Because Democrats are looking around. I mean, liberals with any sanity say, I just don't want to get mugged.
Yeah.
And I'd like my taxes to go to something. And it turns out my boy should not be told they're a girl.
Yes.
That kind of stuff eventually adds up. So maybe there's hope for New York, but I don't think anybody here is going back there to help.
We're actually watching Escape from New York in kind of a slow roll.
Yeah.
Kat, I have a theory that young people love New York because they can put up with being mugged and put through absurd circumstances. But then at a certain age, it's like, no, I gave you the best years of my life. I'm out of this relationship. It's like leaving an abusive relationship.
Yeah, I don't think any young people say, like, oh, I can put up with being mugged. I don't think so. But the mugging that I can't put up with, or that I am sick of, is the state income tax,
Yes.
which you don't have in Florida. Because everybody here is smiling, and, like, that's great, but I also worry that I might not fit in because I'm not, like, the smiliest.
No, you're not.
But maybe that's because I'm sick of being, stolen from by the state every single day. For what?
Yeah.
For what? So, yeah.
Exactly, because we don't, I wouldn't mind getting half my income taken away if I actually saw something from it, but I don't.
Or like you don't go outside and it smelled horrible all the time.
I like that, though. I enjoy the New York smells because it hides
The
my...
one thing keeping you there.
Well, it hides my smells. If the city smells terrible, I don't even have to bathe, Tyrus. I can just walk around. Sometimes I won't even touch water for days.
Yeah, Gutfeld, I kind of have an issue with something you just said. You had the gall as a married man to say you didn't mind giving away half of your money as if you had a half to give. That's hilarious because she's still taking it all, but whatever. What I like to see, New York, it's a nice place to visit, and I'm never going to live there. But we need to, as Republicans or conservatives or adults who can actually do things in front of the camera, we need to start teaching these liberals how to speak, because I'm running out of ideas.
Yeah.
We gave Kamala the bongos. Joe, we just sit back and watch. But she can't talk either.
Right.
And she has that thing with her little hand where she tries to, like, push her way through her stuff. And then they're going to leave to Florida, and they're going to go, which tells me that she doesn't even believe the old she's saying.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's secret sign language for take me with you. I have to say this stuff, but please take me with you, because they cannot believe that anyone who's been in New York lately is like, wow, this is great. This is awesome. Unless, of course, you're a criminal who just got arrested and the cop says, where would you like us to drop you off?
Yeah. The only way you can stop a criminal looting and running is if they step in human poop and slip. That's the only way you can stop them.
Yeah. And if
That's
you don't
a really
pick them
good,
up-
helpful tip.
Yes, it is. I surround my entire apartment with human poop. And I urge everybody to do the same. Yeah, disgusting, I know.